Reporter Miles Coleman, associate editor at Sabato's Crystal Ball, the University of Virginia Center of Politics. Gentlemen, appreciate it. Lachlan, start with you because of your original reporting, some great reporting this morning in Axios on really who is behind both Mcauliffe money and Youngkin's money.
Yeah, well, Mcauliffe is one of the legendary fundraisers of the Democratic Party. That's really how he came up through Democratic politics. And so it's not particularly surprising that he's doing really well in D.C. and the D.C. suburbs. In Northern Virginia, he's far outraising Youngkin. Youngkin is doing much better in the areas around Roanoke, Virginia Beach. And overall, we found that Youngkin actually has a slight lead, about $500,000 lead over Mcauliffe in fundraising purely from Virginia. And a majority of his donations, and that's excluding the money that Youngkin himself has donated to his own campaign, has actually come from in-state. Whereas for Mcauliffe, it's actually split. It's about a third each. You have a third Virginia, a third D.C., and a third in the rest of the country. And Mcauliffe is outraising Youngkin overall, but a lot of that reflects the money he's getting from that D.C. area.
Yeah, and certainly that old fundraising network in Palm Beach and in New York and out on the West Coast certainly helps. Miles, we look at the polling right now, 46-46. This is quite literally in UVA's backyard. So there's no sense arguing the horse race of who's ahead right now. Youngkin's got the momentum, if nothing else. But what are the telltales that you're looking for in the next 2 weeks?
Sure. So I think we a bit touched on it earlier. But what it's going to come down to, I think, is enthusiasm. And you have to look at the trend line. Sure, it's a tied poll, but in the last poll, Mcauliffe was up by a few points. Something I'm looking at is the independent vote. That poll from yesterday had Youngkin up 9 points with independents. Virginia is a blue enough state that the Democrats can afford to lose independents, but they just can't get blown out. Interestingly enough, when Mcauliffe last won in 2013, the exit polls had him losing independents by 9 points, the exact same spread he's down by now. So, he can't fall too much more with those independents.
It's what makes races like this fascinating for reporters, because it truly is a toss-up. The punditry doesn't really matter. You actually kind of have to follow the storylines. Lachlan, that brings us to a pundit, James Carville, obviously a good friend of Terry Mcauliffe, part of Clinton world, was the guy who came up with "It's the Economy, Stupid." Here is Carville talking about this race.
We're in a very tight race, and Democrats need to be activated. It's close. There's no doubt about it, and I'm scared to death.
All right, he's scared to death. What else can Team Mcauliffe do?
Well, I think you're seeing it right now in the A-list figures that they're bringing in to campaign with Mcauliffe in the final days of the race. Everyone up to and including President Biden. You have Kamala Harris, you have Nancy Pelosi, you have Stacey Abrams. I mean, it's really the heavy hitters that are coming in and trying to get out the vote, because that's really what this is going to come down to. It's not just an off-year election, but Virginia has this, this 4-year offset races where, virtually nobody nationwide is going to the polls except in a couple states. So it's all about boosting enthusiasm for those core voters, and that's why you're seeing those big names come in. That's what Team Mcauliffe is hoping they can get done.
Yeah, certainly. You bring up an excellent point in terms of bringing in the heavy hitters. But, Miles, I'm wondering how Stacey Abrams and some of the more liberal members of the Democratic Party, Barack and Michelle Obama, Kamala Harris especially, how do they play with rural Democratic Virginia voters?
Sure. Well, what I would say overall is in this state, definitely in the Trump era, the Democrats have gained a lot with college-educated whites. Well, a lot of those voters used to be Republicans or are at least still open to maybe a certain type of Republican. Or a certain type of Republican. Could Youngkin be that? Maybe. So you have to remember that the core of the Democratic coalition in this state is black voters. And if Mcauliffe ends up losing, basically lackluster black turnout is probably going to be a reason why. So if I'm him, I wouldn't mind campaigning with Obama or Stacey Abrams if it means getting that black turnout up.
Now, it's important to see, and it's not only Northern Virginia. You also have to think about Richmond, Norfolk, a couple of other cities there, some in Roanoke, but mostly Richmond and Norfolk. Lachlan and Miles, you both came with high expectations. Gentlemen, you exceeded them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I want to zero in on